Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm going straight in, fam. We lost a good brother today, fam. We lost a good one. I'm talking about a good one. For those who don't know, BeatKing was one of the most prolific rappers and beat makers in hip hop, period. In H-Town, in Texas, in Louisiana, Mississippi, he was that dude. He was that dude. But he also worked with a lot of artists outside of Houston, outside of Texas, outside of the South. He had countless features with other artists. He earned his name, BeatKing. He's been making beats for the last 10 years. Like, he called himself Club Godzilla on Instagram. And he earned that name because the dude was a beast. He knew how to make club music. He was a good dude, a fun to be around dude. He wasn't about no drama. He was about his family, taking care of his family. He was strictly about his business. He didn't get caught up in no shenanigans. He wasn't involved in none of that drill. I'm smoking on this person, smoking on that. He wasn't none of that. Good all around dude. Broke my heart, man. Broke my heart. When I first heard the rumors, I was like, this better not be somebody playing. Cold-blooded, man. We'll get into what happened to him. But I'm going to tell you something, fam. This broke my heart right here because this was a good dude. 39 years old, dead. Had the whole world in front of him, had his whole life in front of him, was playing big stages. He had an upcoming show at the Toyota Center with Sexy Red and some other people. He was pretty much co-headlining. That's how big he was. And his star was getting brighter and brighter. He was on the verge of real superstardom. He was already a star in his own right. People that know he was already a star, but he was on the verge of superstardom. And he'd been knocking out hits for the last 10 years, club hits for the last 10 years in a row. At it. When I first met BeatKing, on a personal level, I went to his apartment in the medical center in Houston. And I remember it was like, regular apartment. He had his kid in Pampers at the time. And he was just grinding, no art on the walls or nothing like no pictures on the walls, just naked walls and a bed and a couch and, just the essentials, right? And then he moved on up. As he ascended in the music industry, he moved into a better place. Got some nicer wheels, nicer clothes, but he was still grounded, very grounded. This was one of the good ones, fam. I'm hurt. I'm sincerely hurt on this one. You know, sometimes people pass that you know, like people that you know pass. It could even be a relative, and you don't feel that same type of hit because you didn't have that type of relationship. Me and BeatKing had that type of relationship. I called BeatKing I looked at my phone. What's crazy is that I was talking to my girl, and I said, I just talked to BeatKing last week. I just talked to him last week. And I said, well, it could have been 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. I said, but I thought it felt like last week. So I go back and I'm looking in my phone and I'm scrolling. I say, damn, man, it couldn't have been this long ago. Turns out it was on the 23rd was the last time I spoke with him. 23rd of July. When I called him, he answered the phone. Damn, man, what I do to deserve this phone call? The legend Willie D, what's up? And that's how he was all the time. Always upbeat. Always just smiles, you know, full of good energy. Always. I called him to congratulate him about his upcoming performance at the Box's annual concert at the Toyota Center, co-headlining with Sexy Red, right? And he was like, yeah, man, I played the Toyota Center. This is about my third time playing the Toyota Center. So, you know, I'm kind of out of pocket on that part. I don't really follow it that closely. So when he said that, I was like, and then so we started trading stories about playing big venues. You know, our first time playing big venues and stuff like that. We was trading stories. And then we got into his health. He started saying like, yeah, man, I'm working out, man. I'm eating good, you know, I'm eating right, you know, I'm working out, you know, man, I'm trying to get right, you know. So you could probably understand why I was floored when I heard that he had died. And then I found out that he had died from a blood clot. So I got word that he had been feeling down. He had been feeling some pain for the last week. And he was at the radio station a couple of days ago at 97.9 The Box, and he was short of breath, and they called the paramedics. He went to the hospital. Now, I don't even know that this is going on. I hadn't spoken to him. But obviously, you know, I'm like, what's going on? I'm trying to find out what the hell is going on. So he get back to me that he the paramedics took him to the hospital, and you know, he died today. 2 days ago, about 2 days ago, they took him to the hospital, and he died today. 39 years old. he was doing what he was supposed to do. You know, he may have let it get out of control early on, but he was proactive. He was working out. He was trying to eat right. You know, he had slimmed down tremendously. And it looked good on him. The weight looked good on him because, you know, a lot of times when people lose a bunch of weight, because BeatKing was a big old dude. So he lost a lot of weight, and that weight looked good on him. So he was putting the work in. Now, there's a lot of what ifs. What if when he first started feeling that pain, he had went to the doctor and got that checkup? I'm guilty of it myself, fam. I'm guilty of feeling pain and not wanting to go to the doctor and just waiting, hoping that the pain would subside. I'm hoping that it'll just go away. And most of the times I've felt any kind of pain, it has just went away. And so this is why a lot of times I think we take that for granted, that we can get away with that. But sometimes our body betrays us when we wait too long and we don't seek medical attention fast enough. I don't know, fam. I don't know if BeatKing could have been saved. I don't know. But damn, I wish that he had been saved, because he was one of the good ones. Good dude. Good dude. Usually, fam, when these type of things happen, I usually open up the floor and I give you guys a platform to sound off, and we kind of reminisce. We go down memory lane and we share stories. And it's, you know, I do it more so for y'all, but really, this for me right here. I'm hurt. This for me right here. You know, this is a tough one right here, man. This cold-blooded right here. This was one of the good ones. This was one of the good ones. So yeah, fam, this is a big blow for H-Time. BeatKing was not just a successful artist. He was not just another rapper. He was beloved. He was a beloved rapper, a beloved father, friend, associate, business partner, cousin, son, nephew, comrade. I said friend. Colleague, good dude, just a good dude all around. You know, it's always hard too, fam. It's extra hard when you have recently spoken with someone or you recently saw someone who appeared to be in good spirits and in good health. And BeatKing was one of those dudes who was very active. And I think this is why this is also very shocking to people. He was active. He was always on the move, always ready to get down, always ready to perform, always ready to make a beat, always ready to pen a rap, always on go. And he did get to a point to where he eventually prioritized his health. So to hear that he died from something health related, especially, I'm shocked. He was getting better and better and better. Yeah. And we always laughed. There was never a time when I spoke to BeatKing that we did not share a laugh. Always. Good energy. Southern made. H-Town legend he was. He is. He is. Oh, yeah. You know, people tend to throw that legend word around a lot. Oh, no. BeatKing was a legend. He is a legend. He earned that. He put the work in. You know, I'm not quick to call anybody a legend because I feel like you got to work for that. And he worked for that. He put the work in. I saw somebody said something about the news saying that he got shot. I'm going by what the family say. I'm going by what the family said. I'm going by what the people I know said. The people who I trust said. I'm going by what they said, not what the media said. I share with y'all the page from his manager. This is his manager, Tasha. This is what she had to say. Today, August 15, 2024, we have lost Club Godzilla. BeatKing has been the best part of the club for over a decade. He has produced and worked with so many artists that his sound will forever live. He loved his daughters at Club Godparenting, his music, and his fans. We will love him forever. I concur. I absolutely concur. Good dude. Good dude. I see some people that I know on this in the comments, and we all shocked. If you look at these comments, you could tell that nobody was expecting that. Nobody saw that coming. My man Gladiator Truck said, Truck is Bun B right hand. Truck said, you know, said same thing I said. Good dude. See Superstar, Jazz, DJ Q. See 3-6 Mafia. I think Say Cheese was the original outlet that broke the story. Let's take a look at some of the shout outs on Say Cheese. See Kiki, Killer Kellyanne, Master Investor, Propane, Slim Thug, H-Town checking in, DJ Steve Nice, Darian, before that conversation I had with BeatKing on the 23rd, we had another conversation prior to that. And we were talking about, you know, performing and avoiding the riffraff, you know, how to avoid the riffraff, you know, how to, you know, in the climate that we're in now with hip hop, how to get in there, get on that stage, you know, do what you're supposed to do and get out. You know, get your money, hit the stage, give your show, get on up out of there, you know, without getting caught up in any kind of drama. And he was just sharing with me, like he said, yeah, for the most part, man, you know, I avoid that, man. The only time I have an issue, he said, is when dudes is trying to give me a demo. Like, you know, some of them, they just really don't know how to behave. And so he said, yeah, that's the only time he really have an issue with people. But other than that, he don't have no issues out there. Fam, I'm gonna shut this live down. I'm gonna tell you straight up, fam, I'm not in good shape. You dig? I like to keep it going, but I'm not in good shape. You know, this ain't gonna work out well for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. But I appreciate y'all joining the live. If you don't know BeatKing, y'all know how this go. Anytime somebody really put the work in, and if somehow they went under the radar when they die, they tend to become more popular. So I'm sure over the next, few weeks or so, especially the next several days, you're gonna be hearing a lot about BeatKing, legendary BeatKing, H-Town, Justin Riley, the homie. Yeah. That's my time, fam. R.I.P. BeatKing. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.